Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus.
This is The Ray Taylor Show.
Rayz Dayz, episode 157. This is a weekly diary podcast hosted by me, Ray Taylor, every Saturday. Every Saturday, I share updates on my journey as an artist, podcaster, business owner, and human being. I'm excited to share my experiences with you and hope that my journey can serve as a source of inspiration and positivity for you. This week, I am talking about the week that was the sickest I've been in a few years. It has been a while since I've been this sick. I was sick last week, but let me tell you, it kicked it up to another notch this past week. Really just doing everything and trying to get better, like spending so much effort to try and get over this cold as fast as possible. Really not able, zero energy to get anything, just getting the bare minimum of stuff done, and getting through my week, and craziness of recording 10 episodes today. I am currently, this episode is the 9th of 10 episodes that I'm recording, which usually I only record 7 episodes, obviously, 1 per day. So get into why I'm recording 10 episodes this week. And then also, as always, I'm going to talk about something I'm thankful for. But yeah, so totally sick again. So excuse anytime I may cough. If you listen to this week's episodes, my voice at the end of many episodes is barely holding on. I feel like I've kind of cleared some things out through the course of doing these episodes, so I feel like it's a little bit easier, but still there's, I don't know. It's just, so last week I was feeling a little sick, right? Because it got super windy, got like a sore throat, congestion, not feeling good, and while I was still getting over that, it got really windy again. And I mean, like, it's been getting windy here, and it's the desert, so it rained, so there's like dust and like whatever's at the Salton Sea that gets blown around you, whatever chemical compositions are in the air from that, but also just like the rain causing like all kinds of wildflowers to sprout up and just all kinds of pollen to be in the air. So as I was already dealing with being sick last week, it got super windy again on like Monday or even I don't remember exactly when it was, and it got me hard. And what happens with me can happen is it gets in my chest, and then I have bronchitis, and then it takes me forever to get all of the gunk out of my chest. And this week it got in my chest, right? I was able to get medicine, and I was able to which I think helped me not get as bad as I could. And I was doing all kinds of things like nasal rinses. I was boiling water and putting my head over the boiling water with a towel over me to just like breathe in the steam to help kind of loosen up all of the shit that was in my lungs, because it's so dry here in the desert that, and I don't have a humidifier or anything. So doing that to kind of clear out my lungs and just doing everything, gargling with salt water, doing everything possible to try and get over this thing as fast as possible, because I don't have any sick time. As I mentioned last week, I don't have any sick time. I don't have any health insurance, or maybe I do, but I can't still, even with health insurance, health insurance is such a fucking scam in this country that even if you have it, it's not like you're not spending a bunch of money that I don't have to go to a doctor anyway when you already have health insurance. It's not like having health insurance means that you can just go to a doctor and get well and not pay anything. It just means you're not owing years worth of a salary to somebody. So the option to go to a doctor for me has not been an option for getting close to a decade now. And I've lived most of my life like growing up, going to the doctor wasn't something my mom was too concerned about doing. There was definitely a few times where, it got serious, but it was very few and far between the times I actually went to a doctor. So I kind of grew up with that mentality that's not very healthy anyway. But doing as much as I can to try and get rid of the congestion and the constant phlegm and the constant snot and constant buildup in my lungs. So by the end of the day, the past few days, I have been feeling a lot better. And then I wake up and then it's like I have all of this chest congestion again. And then throughout the day, I'm able to get some of that out and feel better at night. So I think I'm headed in the right direction. Hopefully the weather doesn't turn. It's starting to get hot. I've been sweating my ass off all day recording these. But I've been sick and like felt like shit, like to the point where I forget what day it was. I think it was Wednesday. Pretty sure it was Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the day I painted. Probably the day right before, maybe Tuesday. But one of the days this week, like it was bad. Like I had clearly had a fever. I had a headache all day. My eyes felt like they were on fire. I was like freezing. I was like shivering. I was bundled up. It was like 70 degrees outside, and I was bundled up like it was 30 degrees. And just felt like absolute garbage. I have this ice pack thing that's designed to be worn on your head for like when I get migraines. I put that on when I realized that I probably had a theater. I used like a meat thermometer to see if I had a theater, and it was like around 99 degrees. So I had a little bit of a fever. It wasn't crazy, but clearly had a fever. But then it kind of broke by the end of the day, and thankfully started feeling better after that. So I think that was kind of the worst of it. And I was really nervous because this week I mentioned recently on an episode that I had, I do these episode recap podcasts that come out Tuesday. And for whatever reason, so I started to do Poker Face because I didn't know when new seasons of Ted Lasso and Dave and all these shows were going to come back. And of course, right when I start doing the Poker Face recap podcast, then Ted Lasso announces the third season, and then Dave announces that their season's actually being released even earlier than expected. So literally this week, I was planning on recording 9 episodes, which knowing how horrible I felt, I was trying to get to a place where maybe I could record some episodes on like Thursday. That way on Sunday I wouldn't have to do so much recording, because with the recording and the editing, it's going to be a long day. Obviously I couldn't do that. Like I barely got everything done by my normal recording time on Sundays. But not only did I have all of my normal shows and then having to do Poker Face, Ted Lasso, and the first episode of Dave, but Dave decided to release the first 2 episodes. So I had 10 episodes to record. So 4 episodes coming out on Tuesday, and then 1 episode the rest of the days. Insane. Absolutely insane. Next week will be 9 episodes, and then it will be back to 8 episodes, and then in like June, I think, is when Ted Lasso is done, and then a week or 2 later is when Dave is done, and then hopefully I will just take a little bit of a break, but even like I'll probably at that time just get used to recording 2 episodes to release on Tuesday, so it'll just feel like a vacation when I get back to my normal thing. But it's a lot of work. And doing the podcast recaps, like I watch an episode, like if I'm watching Poker Face, I'm watching an episode that takes an hour long to just watch. But I'm not just watching it, I'm taking notes on everything that happens, right? And which means I'm constantly pausing. So it might take me 2 hours to get through an episode. Now, thankfully, when I'm done, my script is pretty much done, except for, intro, outro, or my conclusion, and then my I mean, the conclusion is pretty much the only thing. So it's pretty easy for me to finalize that script right away. So I don't have to go back, unlike when I watch a movie where I have to go back and then kind of go through the notes that I took and see how I want to format everything. But so the editing aspect is easy, but the time it takes to take the notes and watch the episode takes forever. So like, it's taken a long time. Thankfully, Dave, the episodes are only like a half hour long. So thankfully they were quick. They didn't take very long. And not only that, getting through the recaps went pretty fast. And then knowing, so yesterday, as I record this on Sunday, yesterday when I do my prep, I prep my website, I get the artwork for each of the episodes, I make sure all my scripts are done, I make sure my show notes are done. So I do all that kind of stuff. And then pretty much as soon as I got done, actually I didn't go to sleep. I wanted to go to sleep. And instead of going to sleep, I got done like around 10 o'clock. And I was like, I should probably go to sleep. That way I can get a good night's sleep, wake up as early as possible, and just start as early as possible. But I thought, the one thing that takes me a lot of time, and is the first thing I do every morning, is post my social media. So last night, even though I was tired, I was exhausted, and I took my melatonin, so I was fighting my melatonin to stay awake to finish this. I posted my social media stuff, which I think is something I might start doing on Saturdays, posting Sunday's social media late at night. So and that usually takes me a couple hours because I do it all by hand. I'm choosing songs for 4 different videos, and I have to choose the placement of the songs. Like, I spend way too much time doing this, but it takes me about 4 hours to post to 2 accounts on Twitter, 4 accounts on Facebook, 2 accounts on TikTok, and then 3 accounts on Instagram. So got all that stuff done probably around midnight, but I was pretty tired at that point. So got a good night's sleep. Thankfully, like, my cough has kind of gone down to where I'm actually getting a decent amount of sleep, because at first not only was I feeling like crap, but I wasn't even getting good sleep because I was up coughing all night. But I woke up pretty early this morning, and knowing that I didn't have to post my social media, like, I basically woke up, made my tea, and then just started setting up the studio and start recording. So I started recording probably around like 7:30 in the morning, and right now it's about 4 p.m. and I have one more episode to record. So it's, and I take little breaks between each episode just to kind of rest my throat. My voice is surprisingly holding up. It was very shaky in the first few episodes. I didn't think I thought I was going to lose my voice. I didn't think I was even going to get this far. So taking a little breaks here and there, and, almost done recording. Then it's going to take me even longer to edit everything, because I have to edit 3 more episodes than I normally do. Let's take a quick break right now to talk about, are you a fan of original artwork and live events? Look no further than the Many Faces series by Ray Taylor and the weekly live stream over at youtube.com/Inspired Disorder. This ongoing series explores the endless possibilities of the human face through abstract ink paintings on paper, capturing unique expressions of emotion, mood, tone, and energy in just a few minimal features. Join me every Thursday at 4:20 Pacific Time as I paint live. Follow the Many Faces series and discover the endless possibilities of the human face. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of the action and own a piece of original artwork by me, Ray Taylor. Head to youtube.com/Inspired Disorder every Thursday to catch the live stream, and visit inspireddisorder.com to browse and purchase the Many Faces artwork. And now, let's get back to the show. So it's been an insane day, an insane week and couple weeks just being sick. And like, even so sick to like, I was trying to do at the beginning of the week, trying to do just like little things to prep for like an event that I have booked at the end of the month, and couldn't even do that. Like just kind of just getting through my day was all I could kind of manage. And, thankfully I was able to do it. And I'm like feeling a little bit better, and I'll be happy that I don't have to do anything tomorrow. I'm just gonna sleep in and relax tomorrow, and hopefully I'm feeling a lot better. And next week, hopefully I can get a bunch of shit done. Because I've had so many things, like my to-do lists are piling up as I haven't been able to do anything. So, and the worst thing that happens, because I get this like every couple years, like every other year, I'll get sick and it'll get into my chest. And whenever it gets into my chest, it's like usually takes forever. Thankfully, I think because of all the things I've been doing, and also the fact that I don't smoke or drink anymore, my immune system's probably I'm allowing myself to heal faster. It's been nice. And it kind of sucks, like being sick, getting sick, and I may have talked about this last week, I don't know. But getting sick in my past was like an excuse for me to finally do nothing. It felt like a vacation a lot of the times in my past. Like it gave me an excuse not to actually do anything and not to have any responsibility. It was one of the times where like the weight of responsibility of life was lifted off of my chest in that moment, and then filled with fluid that I had to then cough up. But at least the weight was lifted, and I was able to like kind of relax and just sleep, and like it not be considered me being lazy. Right? I wouldn't feel lazy. I could literally do nothing and watch movies all day, and just like that could be my day. But now I don't even have that luxury anymore, because it's like I can't not get things done. I'm not going to take a week off. Right? I have 7 paintings I need to do on Thursday. Thankfully the painting went smooth. Like I was really happy. Really wasn't feeling that great, but Thursday went kind of smooth. Like I think I started to feel better Thursday a little bit, and the painting went good. I kind of happy with how they turned out. And right, even though I kind of have just barely been getting things done, that went well. Thankfully this recording's going well. All of the prep I had to do went for the most part well. So like it's good, and it'll feel good to have it behind me. And thankfully it happened on weeks that I don't have events scheduled, because if I had an event, I wouldn't be able to quit on the event, and I would end up just making myself worse. Like I can't imagine having a respiratory thing and then trying to do an event. First off, I would wear a mask, but everybody would think I'm like have COVID or the RSV or whatever is going around these days. And then also my energy, I would feel dead. I would feel so dead inside. So thankfully, I have enough time to get better for the upcoming events, which I'll talk about at the end, that I did book. Finally booked a couple events for one at the end of this month and one for middle of next month. So that was kind of good information. And, Wednesday was the worst with fever, headaches, all that stuff. So yeah, started to feel better, and like I'm just excited for Monday. And it sucks being sick when it's starting to get warm outside, because I can't like bundle up and be cozy. I'm like sweating and also feeling like garbage, which I'm starting to just sweat all the time now because it's just starting to get hot again. It's supposed to be like in the 90s this week. It's ridiculous. It's going to be in the hundreds before I know it. But as I do at the end of every episode of Rayz Dayz, I want to talk about something I'm thankful for. And this week, I'm thankful for something that may not be around for much longer, something that has been on attack for some time now. And I think a lot of people are expecting it to be gone, but I'm hopeful that it'll stick around, because it's something that I've surprisingly enjoyed using, got a lot of benefit out of. That's why I am thankful for. But this week, I am thankful for TikTok. Something that I never thought I would say. I never thought I would get into TikTok, which I think most people have that prejudice opinion of TikTok until they get into it. They have some kind of preconceived notion of what it is, and then you start using it, and then you realize that unlike any other social media, that like serves you garbage constantly. It actually serves me things that I'm 100% interested in. First off, it gives me something that used to happen on Twitter all the time, is a first person perspective on news, like when things are happening, like when the George Floyd protest took over, and you could see what the protests were like and see what's happening in different cities around the world in protest of George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. Seeing what's happening in France, seeing what happened recently in Tennessee this past week, seeing what's happening in all these different red states and how fascism is really kind of taking hold. So getting a first person new and first person perspective and like accurate accounts of things that are happening that you don't see, that take days or weeks or even never show up on mainstream news, which I haven't watched. It's insane. It's so hilarious, all the conservatives that like assume I watch cable news on some, like maybe because they watch Fox News, they assume that's how people still get their news, or because that's what the Fox News people like use as some kind of insult, that like they're the people that don't believe their bullshit do so because they watch CNN or whatever. It's like, I've never watched cable news in my entire life. I haven't had cable since 2007, right? It's 2023, right? I've been getting my news from online sources for the majority of my life, and now I'm getting it through firsthand accounts of what's going on. So you want to say what I'm seeing and what I'm talking about is bullshit, then you are probably the one that has some kind of propaganda filter on whatever it is news network you're watching. But I always find it hilarious. Like, I've never watched. I'm 43 years old this year. I've never watched cable news networks. Never. It's garbage. And when I see like my roommate watching stuff, it's so obviously overproduced and over dramatized to push whatever narrative they are. Even if I agree with the overall premise of their story, it is clearly manipulative in so many other ways, as news broadcasts have become. But back to TikTok, back why I'm thankful for TikTok. It allows people to organize for political purposes, which is something Twitter used to be used for, and now obviously is controlled by somebody who is on the side of fascism. You have people organizing for protests, people organizing for unions, people organizing to expose fascist laws and politicians that are being put in place and injustices that are happening around this country or around the world, right? There's tons of information and education about things that I'm super interested in, whether it's AI, which is something very new that I'm very interested in, and understanding the best ways I can use AI to help with my art career, to help with my podcasting career, to help with my small business, right? The tool that is AI and understanding the best ways to use that. There's so many videos of people who have like my bookmark section on my Twitter account, my TikTok account is flooded with information. Stuff for Photoshop, stuff for business, stuff for art. All of these things are so like things that I would never get from any other social media service, because all that you see on those other services are people selling stuff, right? Sign up for my AI training seminar. Sign up for my Photoshop tips and tricks mailing list. Like, it's all like not just free information. It's all like, and most of the stuff when people are selling stuff, they don't really know. At least my experience seeing people like selling people on the idea of it being difficult to start a podcast is the most insane thing I've ever heard. I've been podcasting since way before there were like thousands of tools available. Like, you can literally buy a podcasting kit, and there are apps on phones that allow you to set up a podcast in minutes. Like, the ease at which a person can set up a podcast is ridiculous, considering how easy it was back when I started in 2007, 2008. where there weren't any of these tools. But it was still, I started podcasting because it was easy to do, and I wanted to see if I could do it. And I could, and I did. And I've been doing it since then. Countless podcasts, thousands of podcast episodes. So when I see people in 2023 talk about how hard it is, how like you need to take some training thing, or you need to buy their training thing, or you need to like sign up for some like complicated thing on how to be a podcast. Like that's the most bullshit. And you see most of that stuff on other websites. You don't see that stuff on TikTok. Let's take a quick break from this episode to talk about attention all Ray Taylor Show fans. We're excited to announce we've just released a line of exclusive merchandise featuring original artwork inspired by the show. Our high-quality shirts and biodegradable phone cases are a perfect way to show your support for the show and make a great gift for any fan. Plus, with each purchase, you'll be helping us continue to bring you great content. So don't wait. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com now and check out the full collection. Thanks for listening, and we hope you'll show your support by grabbing some Ray Taylor Show merchandise today. And now, let's get back to the show. I don't see that stuff. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in being sold bullshit from small businesses that most of them don't know. Like these guru people that want to teach you how to do the things, become rich super easy, invest in the crypto super easy, become a millionaire overnight. Like it's all bullshit. I'm a social media guru. You go to their site, their social media page, and they have like less followers than you. It is like garbage, these people. Also, tons of mental health stuff that a lot of people have seen to help diagnose the issues they have, to hear stories about people who have the same issues as them, to find ways to help cope, to find ways to get help with their issues. Like there's so much of these like valuable tools that come with a service like TikTok that their algorithm is so good at pinpointing and understanding what each user is into, and feeding them content that's valuable to them in a way that's organic and not fake and not somebody trying to make a buck off of them, right? Self-care. Also, like funny videos, you know, it's not just certain things. Like it is a plethora of things, and in kind of a ratio that I kind of enjoy. And if a big story pops up, you can't help but see all these different independent reports on it, independent first-person views on what's actually happening. Way before, like everything else is on a delay. That's why it's hilarious. So many conservative people, there's always like a 1 or 2 day delay on when they respond to shit. Because they have to see what their propaganda networks say about a thing, where they finally hear about a thing, and they see so they can regurgitate. And it's always a day or two. You never see them pop off when actual tragic things happen. Actual things happen. Like next week, there will be tons of conservative people online talking about why what happened in Tennessee was good, actually. Like guaranteed, there is nothing. I have seen nothing as far as that. Although next week, now that they had time to watch their Fox News or their whatever podcast, right-wing podcast, to hear whatever right-wing talk points they can to justify why 3 Democratic politicians were made to be expelled, that were elected because they stood up to exercise their First Amendment right to protest. And out of those 3, how the 2 black dudes were the ones who were expelled. Meanwhile, they've had people in that Senate that were being investigated for like sex crimes. People that were being investigated and charged with like corruption and fraud and embezzlement. Like people that actually have done legitimate crimes have sat there with no kind of punishment, but because these people aren't part of the Republican majority of the House in Tennessee, they were expelled because that's the kind of fascist government that's taking over. And that's the thing that even took, it took every single news organization a day, 2 days before they even started commenting on it. It's also a great resource to like research stuff. Like when you type things in, I mentioned this last week, you type in France to TikTok and you get a bunch of bullshit posts that have nothing to do with what's actually going on in France. You type in France in TikTok and you see everything that's going on in France. Using the search in TikTok to do research on a topic is the most useless thing. Like that search bar in TikTok is the most useless feature of TikTok or of Instagram. The search bar on Instagram is the most useless feature on Instagram. It does not do any kind of search for anything. It is garbage. And then you do a basic search on TikTok and you cite so much, an abundance of what you're looking for. In a way that even using Google doesn't give you. Google so often, it gives you like all kinds of these bullshit websites where you click on it and there's 20 pop-up ads and it's like you got to scroll through like this entire article to search for like some answer that may or may not even be available on that article. And it changed my perspective on many things and clarified my stance on many issues. It made me understand how bullshit a lot of people are that call themselves centrists or moderates. It's just people that mostly are conservative but have a few liberal ideals. But like the fact that they vote conservative, the fact that I think the majority of Democrat politicians in the Democrat Party are far too conservative for what I'm looking for. So for somebody to call themselves like the center is far right as far as I'm concerned. Like congratulations that maybe you have a gay uncle and you think that there should be some human rights for people who have same-sex relationships or whatever. But like if you're still voting Republicans, then you're still voting against the demonization of like all kinds of marginalized groups. You're like voting for people who support some of the most evil bullshit that's going on in the world. So it's also made me clarify opinions on things that before was very wishy-washy. Like I didn't understand. Like it's educated me more. Unlike any other social media platform. And it's not like education through memes like so many people do on like the Facebook and Twitter accounts that are like bullshit. It's like they're just propaganda cartoons. And that's like their identity. It's so sad to see people's identity be propaganda cartoons, right? And they're passionately angry in agreement with their propaganda cartoons. It is just like mind-blowing. Like that's who you are. That's your identity. That's your personality, right? It's just as sad as when you go to somebody and it's just they're like obsessed with, some childhood cartoon thing. It's like, okay, maybe I kind of feel bad for you. Like you haven't been able to like get into anything else. That's like it. That's the thing you're obsessed with. I don't know. At least childhood cartoons aren't like leading to fascism. But anyway, that's what I'm thankful for. TikTok, for as long as it's around. I hope it sticks around. And it is kind of sad that if it does stick around, then it might just end up turning into what everything else has turned into, which is just garbage. Because it's the only social media platform that I actually use. I post on them. I post all my artwork and clips from this podcast on all social media platforms, right? Because they're free to post, even though now most of those things, especially with Meta, you have to pay for people to see your posts. So it's like, I don't even know. I probably just shut that down because I'm not going to pay Meta. Meta can suck my dick. I'm not going to pay Meta to show my stuff on social media. That was like the like ridiculous conspiracy that went around back in the MySpace days that Tom was going to charge you to use MySpace. Well, now that's what these people are doing. These people that sell your identity, sell your information, Facebook and Instagram, right? They've been doing it far longer, Twitter, far longer than TikTok was even around. So to think that like TikTok is the one and only thing that's selling, like all of your data has been sold from all of these other, companies already. To think that like, anyway, I don't know. I lost track of what I was saying. My brain is done. My voice is done. Events coming up. April 30th, Sunday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Indian Wells, I will be doing the Love Local event. It is at the Southwest Church. There's also like a car show. It is the last Love Local event of the season. As I said, things shut down in the desert during the summer. So I'm hoping this event does well for me. I need it to do well. I need to somehow survive through the summer. So April 30th from Sunday, it's on a Sunday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come by. There's tons of vendors there, but if you want to check out my artwork and purchase my artwork, see it in person, purchase it, and actually support an artist who makes their art by hand and needs the money to survive, please do so. April 30th, Sunday, in Indian Wells, Love Local, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Also, next month, May 20th, it's just a Saturday, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. is the 111 Night Market. I am doing that. It is back again. They took April off. They are back in May 20th, third Saturday of the month. Hopefully, it will be every month through the summer. It is at the Palm Desert Mall in the parking lot across from Barnes & Noble, I assume is the same location as last time. But it is on the side of the mall as 111, hence the name 111 Night Market. So May 20th, Saturday at the Palm Desert Mall from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I will be there selling my art as well. Come by, purchase my art, say hello, help support me, help keep me alive and paying rent and paying my bills and surviving as an artist. I truly appreciate everybody. And if you're not in the events, if you're not local, you can always purchase my stuff on my website, inspireddisorder.com. I have all my original artwork. You can buy prints if you don't want to spend the money on an original. But you can do that, shirts, all kinds of stuff through my website, inspireddisorder.com. But for my events, if you want to know all of the events that I'm doing, you want to get all of the details on all of the events that I'm doing, go to inspireddisorder.com/events for all the details on all of my upcoming live and local events. But in addition to all of that, I am very thankful for all of you, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to connect with you through this podcast and for the chance to share my journey with you as long as I'm able to. Please join the conversation by leaving a comment on your favorite podcast platform or over on youtube.com/inspireddisorder if you are watching these episodes as you can every episode. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next Saturday for another episode of Rayz Dayz. I don't feel like screaming because my voice. Rayz Dayz. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.